guys. Good morning. Come on, it's Friday. We're giving you pizza. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yay. Well, we're very excited you are here today. This is one of the fun things I get to do in my job. So I look forward to seeing you guys each year, your school coming back. And we do this for all of the other middle schools in Bonita Springs. And today is a really great opportunity for us to share with you what your city does for you, a little bit about each of our backgrounds and how we got into the roles that we're in government. We're going to give you a tour of City Hall, and then you all are going to actually be members of the City Council, mayor, members of City Council, and members of the public, which is also a very important job as well. So my name is Arlene Hunter, and I'm the city manager, and I do know some of the faces out there. I see some of you that I'm familiar with. And I have been with the city 19 years. I was 12 when I started, so don't do the math in your head. But I started out, I grew up on Sanibel, and I went to school in Fort Myers, and I went to Florida State University. So I know how to do this. I do not like doing this. So I went to college, and when I got out of college, I started working for the state of Florida. I worked in the Florida Department of Education, and at that time, I was working on projects throughout the state because our population of Florida was growing so rapidly. They were looking at converting where so many schools and school districts, a statewide program to eliminate all the trailers on the property so that it could be a more stable school situation. That's how I started my job. From there, I went to work for the city of Quincy, which is about 20 miles west of Tallahassee, and I was an urban planner. Do you guys know what urban planning is? Do you have an idea? I helped pick out, in my first job, where parking spaces went around McDonald's, so that everyone could drive around the McDonald's and not get in a traffic jam. That's how I started. From there, I got to work on downtowns and main streets and planning and zoning issues, so where we put businesses, where we put houses, and how they all mix together. I then came here down to Bonita, and I started working in special events. Has anyone been to the 4th of July at Riverside Park? That's what I started. And we had to adapt to a lot of different budget changes as things went on. And we did a laser light show and fireworks and celebrate Bonita and Holiday in the Park. But then I got an opportunity to go back to what I went to school for and start working in economic development, and worked my way to become the assistant city manager. And then when the city manager retired in 2018, I became the city manager. So I live here, and my kids go to Bonita Charter, but my oldest went to Bonita Springs High School, and now she's in college in Jacksonville at University of North Florida. So I have played. My daughter played all the same sports at your school and played with the charter school, track, and we played tennis at the rec center, so I know a lot about your school. I've been to your school quite a few times, and we're very excited about the guitar you guys have out front, which is a program we did with the city. Another item we worked on was art in public places, so all the statues and murals you see, and that was one of the parts of the program. So what we're going to do here today now is we're going to have each of our folks here in different roles in government give you a background, how they got into that role, and share with you a little bit of their excitement of how you can continue to participate with the city as well. So first we have our fire chief, Greg DeWitt, with Bonita Springs Fire Control and Rescue.
Thank you, Arlene. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm the fire chief of Bonita Springs. I've been there going on 35 years, and like Arlene, I started when I was about 12 or 13 years old. So I know what you guys have been through. I've been involved with Bonita Springs Middle School for a long time. Both my kids went there. I chaperoned all the field trips they went to, from Space Camp down to the Everglades, and actually I think my son was one of the ones that went down to Key Largo for one of the scuba ones. So it was I've been there, and don't hold it against me, but my sister-in-law is one of you guys' teachers, Miss Bonnell, so don't hold that against me. But no, I've been doing this a long time. I started out as a volunteer at Bonita Springs Fire Department, worked my way up through to become a real firefighter, then went through lieutenant, battalion chief, assistant chief, deputy chief, and now I'm the fire chief. I've been the fire chief since 2020 when our fire chief retired. it's a great job. I love it. It's one of those things that I'm passionate about. And like I said, my son went to middle school at Bonita Springs Middle and graduated high school and then went to college at Florida State. And now he's a firefighter at North Collier Fire Department. So, there's that progression. And actually, he went to Florida State and kind of like city manager Arlene, he went for zoning and community development, got a job in Collier County in the zoning department, was there about 2 to 3 years. And somebody asked him, hey, you see yourself here in 20 years? And he goes, nope, I don't. And put himself through fire school and EMT school and got hired at North Collier Fire. And he's been there going on 10 years right now. So it's one of those things. It's rewarding. It's fun. We have a good time. Not as fun as the cops. We don't get to carry guns and do all that stuff. But you know what? The Lee County Sheriff's Office is a great partner of ours. During any of the hurricanes, the city, the law enforcement with Lee County SO, even Parks and Recs, the assistant city manager, and BSU, they are all housed at our Fire Station 24 during the hurricanes. So I can't say enough about the partnership that we have, the relationships that we have with the city and with Lee County SO and Bonita Springs Utilities, and about what the community of Bonita Springs has done for me and has done for my family and my kids. And like I said, my kids still live here. My daughter has just moved away. She went away to college and kind of came back for a little bit. Then with her job, she's moving around all throughout the United States. But, the fire department is there to help you. Our doors are always open. We make a little cliche. We still make house calls. So if you ever need us, we're there. If anybody ever wants to become a firefighter, come and talk to us. I know that Bonita Springs High School has a medical program and they have some HVA. But you know what? We're trying to get a cadet program there. But Estero High School or Estero Fire Department has a cadet program. And through my position at the Florida Fire Chiefs Association, if for some reason you can't afford to go to fire school, we have scholarships available for people to go to fire school. And, it's a rewarding job and it's there. And, shameless plug, we're hiring 6 right now and the starting salary is $67,000. So it's one of those things that's rewarding and it's fun to do and you get to have a good time. And you know what? It's like a summer camp every 24 hours. You just got to go to work sometimes when the bell rings. But it's a great life. It's a great job. It's very rewarding. I love it. So provided for my family. Who's next? We're going with Matt down the road. I'll introduce Matt Feeney, who I worked with. And just another little thing, I used to be on city council. I did 4 years at city council. So I've worked with Arlene and Matt and Laura and the whole city staff. And they're great to work for and great to work with. So here's Matt Feeney, assistant city manager.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. My name's Matt Feeney. I'm the assistant city manager here. I also wear another hat. I'm the public works director for the city. Excuse me, I got something going on with me. I like Arlene, went to high school here in Fort Myers, and then went away to college. I went to Notre Dame up in Indiana, and then to pay for my college education, I was part of ROTC, the Reserve Officer Training Course. So I was in the Naval ROTC. That guaranteed a job after college. I was a surface warfare officer in the Navy. I've lived many different places, including California and Japan. So when I got out of the Navy, I came home, and I worked for Fort Myers Beach, a little small town out here. And was there for the first hurricane that caused some problems, Hurricane Charlie. So I worked there for a few years, and then ultimately I went and worked in the private sector. I worked in heavy highway construction related to gas and oil pipeline construction, lived all over the country, and decided that life was a little too mobile. So I came back to Bonita Springs to be the public works director. Here, my primary job, I make sure that your roads are built and maintained, landscaped. We take care of flooding issues. We design and develop large flood control and water quality projects that help make sure the water in the river is clean. We do large transportation. We also even dabble in some park stuff, building parks. We're getting ready to build a splash pad around the banyan tree site here in downtown Bonita. So we do a lot of large, heavy construction. The thing that's rewarding is every day is different. We touch many different types of projects. You get to develop small things, large things, things that deal with the environment. One of the most recent things, we just put a bunch of sand on the beach after the hurricanes. But every day is exciting. Kind of like Greg, it's like summer camp. Some days it's a bad day at summer camp, but you just get to touch a lot of different things. And with that, I'll introduce Laura Taylor.
Well, only reason I'm going to jump back in here for 30 seconds and just say, do you guys have any questions? We've got an event out at the fire station that I got to be at 11 o'clock, so I didn't want to leave without asking. Do you guys have any questions of me and what it's like, or any questions whatsoever about the fire service or what we do, or the fire department? Yes, sir.
Have you drove a fire truck?
Yes, I drove a fire truck. Like, I did 25 years on the line, doing 24 hours on, 48 hours off. So I was a driver engineer, so I drove a fire truck. I'm also on the urban search and rescue, so I've been to collapses. Unfortunately, you may have heard of Surfside. I was over at that. We responded to all the hurricanes here lately. I've been up to North Florida for the fires in '96. So yes, I have driven a fire truck many times. Yes, sir.
Have you gone on a fire pole?
Let me think about this. We do not have one, but Fort Lauderdale does, and I had one there. And there's one in Indiana that has a slide that's pretty cool. Everybody's banging their knees up, so they put a big stainless steel slide in there with a curve. And, we do stupid stuff, so we'd wax it a little bit and get a little bit faster and see who can go down the fastest. Any other questions? And I apologize, I can't be here the whole time, but we're doing an employee appreciation now at the station. So I double booked myself, unfortunately. So you can introduce Laura now. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. So with that, I'll introduce our communications director, Laura Taylor.
Thank you. Good morning. So I am the Director of Communications and Facilities, and I started in the Parks Department originally and worked my way from there to do community relations, from Parks and Rec over to the City Hall building. And then Arlene was talking to you about how she did the special events and she got a promotion. When she got promoted, I got asked to do the special events. I started doing those for a while, and then the city grew, and I got the opportunity to start to build my own department. It was a very exciting thing for me. I got to hire new staff. We have Carissa in the back. She actually planned this event for you. She's an FGCU graduate, and we also have Logan in the back. He assisted. They're great. He's from FGCU as well, and I have IT, information technology in my department now, multimedia consultant. You'll see Antonio walking around here filming. I don't know where he is now, but so he'll be filming you guys with cameras. And then I have, let me think. So I have Marcelo, who's project management now. He's going to be doing major renovations in our department for the city. And we also have Vince. He's our maintenance staff member here at City Hall. And an administrative assistant that works in our department. And we couldn't do it if we don't have such a great team. Everybody works together. Carissa is now doing the events. And so when you go to 4th of July or Celebrate Bonita, have you guys been to these events? I know Arlene asked you. Have you been to Christmas at the park or 4th of July or Halloween? Yeah, raise your hand if you've been to a city event. Okay, so now you see that Arlene started, then it was with me, and now it's with Carissa. We've been working on that for a while. So I like to take it back to where it started for me. So when I was in middle school, I was asked by a teacher if I wanted to participate in an elective, and I picked radio and TV. So he walked me down to the radio and TV teacher, and they introduced me to videography and storytelling, things like that. And I really took off with that. In high school, I ended up doing a monthly production where we went around town and we filmed everybody in the community, and we asked, how they felt about how things were going with the local government. Very exciting. We produced a TV show. Back then it was all about TV. I know it's more streaming nowadays. But that's where it really started for me in local government. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to ask you, do you know what you want to do when you grow up? And if you do, raise your hand. Okay, what do you want to be?
A real estate agent.
Okay. Anybody else? I know it's hard to talk in the microphone, but
A lawyer.
a lawyer. Nice. Okay.
A chef.
Chef. Very nice. No? Yes? Okay, you don't have to. Anybody else? So I ask you that question because I want to encourage you to understand that I know you're young, but now is the time to explore, to figure out what you want to do in life, and to take those opportunities that are presented to you to really figure out, is this for me? Do I like this? Listen to your teachers, take these opportunities, volunteer, get involved, because it can start for you right now in middle school, and that will help you figure out what you want to do with your life. I just really encourage you to do that. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you do? Or you don't? You just scratch your, okay. All right, then I'll go ahead and introduce our next person. And I am so sorry, I don't know your name. Amber. Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone, how are you? So my name is Amber. I work over at Community Development as part of the planning and zoning staff. Over there I do plan review, so essentially what that means is that anything you want to put on ground, I have to approve of. So to put an example, if your parents or you want to build a house, then you have to get my approval. So I'll tell you where you can put it, how big it can be. I also help realtors, architects, city residents with their plans, site design, building, things of that nature. I've been with the city for about 5 years now. I started with the planning and zoning department about 3 years ago. So that is kind of my history there. Do we have any questions? Yeah. No, I don't. Oh, well, I haven't met her yet, but I'm sure I will at some point. Anything else? No? All right. And this is Sean Gibbons. He's also planning and zoning.
Hi, guys. Thank you for coming out today. We're excited to have you all. So very similar to City Manager Hunter and Miss Amber who just spoke, I'm also a planner. My degree is in urban planning and sustainability. So think things that are green, things that are awesome, things that are wonderful. I also work community development, so I review permits, plans, projects. I work with Mr. Feeney, I work with Mrs. Hunter, I work with a lot of the city staff to make sure that you guys are getting the development you want in your city. So really a good way to think about kind of community development in our department is kind of like a school guidance counselor. All right, they help you figure out what you want to be when you grow up, how you want to live your life, where you want to go, what do you want to do. And that's sort of what we do in our department. We help the city decide where it wants to have its buildings, how many people it wants to have, how do they want those buildings to look, businesses, houses, townhomes. That's kind of what we do. We kind of give them the ability to coach it, to regulate, and to grow in a way that is appropriate for them. Myself, graduate FGCU, twice over, so I'm a double eagle, wings up. I'm also an instructor there as well, and I'm a local Bonitian, so I've lived in Bonita at Worcester my entire life, born and raised. So I'm a local kid. Most of you probably are. There's more of us nowadays than before, but we're a very rare breed. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But otherwise, I think Ms. Amber did a great job kind of talking about sort of what we do. Most of you will probably one day want to build a house or open a business, and you'll end up dealing with our team if you do it in the city of Bonita Springs. Any questions? Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Take a time, ask questions, get to meet people. Again, similar to what Ms. Laura said, I encourage you guys to explore, to grow, to develop, and hopefully one day I'll see you guys in one of my classrooms at the university, okay? Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jesse. I work over at the Bonita Springs Community Pool. I just want to know, I'm here representing the Parks Department as a whole. Has anybody ever hung out at any of the parks in Bonita? Name one. Just throw one out. Where have you been? There's a big one downtown called Riverside. Yeah, there's Riverside. How about, has anybody been to the dog park? Everybody's been to the dog park. How about we have a new skate and pump track out by the rec center. Has anybody done that? Yeah, that's fun. That's a brand new one that we've been doing. Has anybody ever been to the pool? The community pool? So the community pool is where I work. And so I've been a lifeguard for a little bit over 20 years. So I started as a lifeguard when I was in high school in Indiana. And I did that throughout college. That's where I met my wife. And so when we moved down here, I decided, boy, I really like this. This is something that I would like to do for the rest of my days. So I've been working for the city of Bonita Springs since 2008, so 16-ish years. It's been very, very wonderful. I started as a lifeguard, and then now I'm in a management position overseeing that facility. So if you have any experience in swim lessons or anything like that, we've probably run into each other before. But does anybody have any interest in sports? Even if you don't want to be a pro athlete, is sports something you like to do, any physical activity? How about anything like any sort of games, like tennis, basketball, anything like that? Parks and Recreation as a whole, even if you're not going to be a pro athlete, it's a really wonderful thing to get into if you like outdoor activities, if you like activities in general or anything like that. It's very, very rewarding because we get to spend a lot of time working with the community. So just keep that in mind as you're looking towards a career. You can still play games, you can still hang out at a pool and get paid for it. So there's still really fun things to do. So you don't necessarily have to be in the office. I always say I have the best office in the world, which is hanging out at the pool all day long. So there's really, really wonderful things. Lifeguarding and aquatics is a wonderful industry to get into. And there's lots of things available, especially around here in Florida. Has anybody been to the Great Wolf Lodge yet? Their indoor water park? It's really, really big. It's really, really neat. So you think that always takes managers, it always takes supervisors, and it always takes lifeguards. So even as you're coming up, it would be a great part-time job for you to get. You can try it out, see if you like it. If nothing else, you can hang out with some friends, learn some good skills in aquatics, and have some fun. Any questions for me? Yes, sir. Have you saved someone from drowning? Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people. So our facility is very proactive in regards to, we try to get people before they drown. So obviously, like, we encourage the use of life jackets and things like that. But yes, plenty of rescues. In the early parts of my career, I was a Phoenix Award winner, which Chief DeWitt would know about, for saving a life. So that's been the highlight of my career so far. So yes, absolutely. I've never been a beach lifeguard on the ocean, but I have worked in an open water situation at lakes. So in Indiana, we didn't have oceans, but we had lots of lakes. So it wasn't Lake Michigan, a little smaller, but it's a similar thing. Open water is a little bit different game. You can't see the bottom, obviously, but it is still very fun and very rewarding. So there's lots of opportunities countrywide in order to do it. You could work inside, outside, anything else like that. Any other questions? Say it one more time. I'm sorry, I just don't understand.
Like the pools and everything, like they made for the community.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah. So we build stuff specifically for people. Right now, we're thinking about doing maybe a little bit of an expansion to our facility. So we will bring in the input from the community in order to see exactly what needs to be done. Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Anything? No more? Okay. Michael is going to tell us a little bit about neighborhood services. Thank you, guys.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm the field supervisor with Neighborhood Services. Thank you all for joining us today. As Ms. Laura said, it's never too early to kind of plan on what you would like to do. In my scenario, I've kind of lived in Bonita my whole life. I've helped out with the events. I started out with Parks and Rec and eventually moved my way up to Neighborhood Services, which is code enforcement. The purpose of our department is to ensure that the residents of Bonita who live and visit have some semblance of something nice. We enforce local codes that bring up the property values, clean up issues that would arise for property neglect, stuff like that. As I said, I started with Parks and Rec, part-time at the front desk, similar to Miss Laura there. But before all that, like I said, I've been in Bonita my whole life. I've grown up at the rec center playing the basketball program. The skate park had opened, gone there. And then eventually there came a point where there was an opportunity to be had at the front desk, so I decided to give that a shot, eventually put in my time. So I've been with the city for about 10 years now. And as I said, I'm the field supervisor at Neighborhood Services. So some of my roles are to review a lot of the cases that my coworkers may have, make sure that everything's kind of proper, monitor notices that would go out, things to that nature. Has anyone in this room kind of dealt with our department before, maybe your family? No? Okay. Do you guys have any questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Not a bad way to spend a Friday. I mean, you're not in class. So I'm Deputy Lopez with the Lee County Sheriff's Office. With me, I have Sergeant Gonzalez. We both work for the Bonita Springs Community Policing. So we work for the Sheriff's Office, but we're fortunate enough to be in a specialty unit for the city of Bonita Springs. So like Cape Coral or Fort Myers, where they have their own police departments, Bonita Springs hires extra deputies just to work within the city of Bonita, which is a really fun unit. What's nice is we get to focus on a lot of things that we call quality of life. So we deal with the public, we work with individuals, a lot of the other people that have come up here today, we get to work side by side with addressing certain issues. It's nice, it gives us some time to focus on other things, like we get to work with Cafe of Life, hand out food, meals with them, work with them, get to do fundraisers, other events to help individuals in the community that are a little unfortunate or down on luck. We get to do a lot of things with them. Being a sheriff's deputy now for going on 4 years, I've got to experience a lot of really cool things. The last 2 years I've been fortunate enough to be in the Bonita CP unit. It's a fun gig. I'm also on the underwater search and recovery unit, so I'm on a dive team for the agency, which is pretty fun. We get to do a lot of different things being in the Bonita unit. It gives us a lot of time to focus on individual crimes, individual issues in the community. If people have an issue, we can directly, try to affect it or change the outcome of other individuals. I know a lot of you guys, you have Deputy Lorente at your school. Anybody ever talk to Deputy Lorente? Great guy. I was fortunate enough to go to the academy with Deputy Lorente. He's a really good guy. We get to go through the school. If you ever see us walking around the school doing a school check, say hi to us, ask questions. Don't ever be shy to if you want to know something, if you're not sure about something, reach out. We love what we do. We enjoy engaging with anybody that has questions. We want to help in any way that we can. Anybody have any questions? Law enforcement related? What you got? I have not been in a police chase on foot. I have, but never in the car. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Do you know sometimes at a school what those big trailers are? It's shared.
So yes, that's a really cool thing that we have. So that is a training simulator. So we go in there, and that simulator, we put it on a VR, an Oculus VR setup. And what it does is it allows us to train in situations where we would have to possibly engage a suspect, talk to them, talk them down. If it's an intense situation, so instead of going to it the first time, so like you go to a call of service and not knowing what could be if it's a bad day situation, that training seminar and that trailer allows us to go in there and experience something like that to get our blood pressure up, to get us really, trained to a high level, because if it is a bad day for us where we have to go and we have to address a bad situation, it makes us prepared for that. Anybody else? Anybody in the back row? I know the back row is always the ones that are the shyest. I'm the one that normally sits in the back row. Anybody? All right. Sergeant Gonzalez, do you have anything?
Just as everyone else said, I really encourage you guys to come up and talk to us and ask questions. I've been with the sheriff's office going on almost 9 years now. I went to FGCU as well. I thought I wanted to do forensics and crime scene, and then I did a ride along with the sheriff's office, and I knew that law enforcement was what I wanted to do. So, expand your knowledge and your classes, and whatever you think you might be interested in, go ahead and go for that, and then at least you'll know if that's for you or not. So, thank you guys for coming out today.
Really appreciate your guys' time. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Sheffield. I'm the city clerk. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. Has anyone ever heard of Buffalo? You have? What's Buffalo well known for this time of year? A lot of what comes white. Yeah. A lot of snow. So I was a probation officer in Buffalo. And in that role, I worked with people who broke the law, convicted of certain crimes, and I helped them to live a healthier, law-abiding lifestyle. And then, I've been here for 20 years. One of those real bad winters, it started snowing, and it didn't stop for months. And it snowed so hard, I said, I'm moving to Southwest Florida. So I've been here for 20 years. I worked in Naples. I worked for government in Marco Island, and most recently now in Bonita Springs, where I'm the city clerk. Every city in the United States and most cities in the whole world have a city clerk. And the clerk is a very important role. helps government run smoothly in many different ways. A lot of what I do, I work closely with the city council. And we have a city council who's our governing body for the city of Bonita Springs, the mayor, and we have 6 council members, and they're all elected. So every so many years we have elections in the city. One of my duties is to serve as the elections official. And when someone wants to run for office, I make sure they're qualified. They have to have certain qualifications to run, whether it be for council member or for the mayor. And one of those qualifications, very important, they have to be a resident of the city of Bonita Springs. So can someone from Fort Myers come and say, hey, I'd like to run for mayor of Bonita Springs, but they live in Fort Myers? No, they wouldn't be qualified. So I make sure that our candidates are qualified. So if you ever were to attend a city council meeting, you'd see me sitting up there. We call that a dais. And I'm writing. So when city council meets, they're making decisions for the city. They're adopting ordinances, which are city laws, or approving resolutions. So they're making decisions, and I'm writing everything down because it's very important that the city clerk record everything that city council is voting on and what they're adopting and what they're approving. So 2 very important skills that a city clerk has to have. You have to have good writing skills, and you have to have good listening skills, right? Because I have to listen to everything that they're saying and everything they're doing. For example, let's just say that they were to vote to have a Independence Day parade, and they voted to have it on July 4th. But I am not paying attention, and I wrote down July 3rd. Think there's going to be a problem? Yeah. So it's very important that I listen and I record everything very accurately. So, what questions do you have of me? Who thinks, question? Well, it's very important that I do not do that. So I'm happy to say no, not anything serious at least, but it is possible, right? That's why it's very important to listen. But it's a good question. I hope that never happens to me. Any other questions? Who thinks it'd be cool to be a city clerk? No one? You do? Okay, good. All right.
Hey everybody, my name is Nick Gambali. I'm on the finance team with the city, and I'm the new guy. I've been here for about 6 months, and I really like working in Bonita Springs. I graduated from FGCU with a degree in public administration just recently. I grew up in West Palm Beach, Florida, which I don't know if anyone's been there. I like it way better over here. But I've lived on this side of Florida for about 5 years, and I really wanted to get my foot in the door with local government around here, and the city of Bonita Springs was kind enough to offer me a job, and I've really enjoyed my time here so far. So the finance department, it's really important. I said I was in the finance team, right? Okay, whew, good. It's important, the city has to keep track and account for every dollar that we spend because it's public funds, and if we're not clear with where your money's going, then there's going to be problems, and people are going to come here and ask what's going on. So I think my boss, the finance director, would be mad at me if I didn't at least ask. Anyone here their favorite subject in school, math? Okay, nice. You'll be happy to hear that. Yeah, it's if you like numbers and you're good with numbers, it'd be good to consider a job where you can use your brain and your talent for math and get involved in accounting somewhere. I'm not an accountant. I do other things, but that'd be cool. Another aspect of my job is FEMA, which is the national government. They send federal funds to local governments to rebuild after disasters, which if we've had a few hurricanes in the past couple of years, and we're still rebuilding from those, and it wouldn't be possible without those funds. And FEMA, that's the organization where it sends us the money. They're kind of difficult to work with, so you need a lot of help getting that money. But if there's any questions, yeah, I wouldn't want to know about FEMA either.
So you guys want to give Nick an extra applause. That's his first time doing that. He's only been with us 6 months, so. And he's just out of continuing his master's degree as well. So you can jump into your career very quickly after school as well. There's just a couple points I want to make sure you knew about Bonita, how as a city government we're a little bit unique and different than the city of Fort Myers or the city of Naples. We were incorporated in 1999. So previously in the 1920s, we were a city. Unfortunately, they could not pay the electric bill on Old 41. And so they gave their resources all the way back to Lee County again, and we were part of unincorporated Lee. So your representation prior to 1999 meant that if you wanted to complain about a roadway, a pothole, the beach access, your park, you had to go all the way to downtown Fort Myers to see your county commissioner. So residents back in the 90s decided, actually through the Chamber of Commerce, that they wanted more local representation. So now, as it was mentioned before, you have a mayor and you have 6 council members, and they're all geographically located within the community. So we have some maps upstairs. You'll be able to find your house, and then you'll be able to find out who your city council member is. You're still covered under Lee County, and Lee County has the overall arch of emergency management and beaches. But as we've seen recently with a lot of hurricanes, local reaction and local government and local assistance has to happen immediately here, right here in Bonita. If telephone lines go down, communications go down, like you heard, there's a partnership with the Lee County Sheriff's Office and the Fire District, and today we don't have a representative, but Bonita Springs Utilities, which is your water and your wastewater, your sewer. So we were founded on what's called government light philosophy. And you have a city manager and council form of government where the city council is completely elected, and then they hire a city manager to run the day-to-day operations. The policies are all set by the city council. There's different formats of that. Sometimes it's a mayor who acts as the manager as well. There's been combinations of that's happened in Fort Myers at different times. But our form of government is you have a hired manager and professional staff and elected members of council. We're also under the government light form, as you heard, the city of Bonita Springs does not have its own police department. We have all of the resources of the sheriff's office, and then we have a special contract that provides for the additional enhanced services. And so they can do that additional outreach and community involvement. We also don't have our own fire department. Naples has their own fire department. You have your own fire commissioners here. We also don't have our own water and wastewater. That's a private utility. We don't do the electrical lines. That's FP&L. So, but we contract with all these folks, and that takes a lot of coordination and a lot of communication and a lot of teamwork. And that's a lot of the role of each of these directors, and myself have to do all the time to keep all those plates spinning in the air together. So.
Hello there, this is Assistant Principal Armando Alejo from Bonita Springs Middle, and we are just so thankful for the city of Bonita Springs, folks here at City Hall, for welcoming us today. Our students had a chance to engage in quite the meaningful activity. We were able to meet all of our city officials, and to top off the day, all of our students had to do a mock city meeting. And once again, we're just so thankful for the folks here, and we look forward to coming back every year. Thank you.
Call to order.
There you go.
Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now everybody please sit down. Public comment on agenda items.
Roll call.
Oh yeah, roll call. Sorry, roll call.
Council Member District 1.
Here.
Oh, here.
Council Member District 2.
Here.
Councilmember District 3.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Councilmember District 4.
Here.
Councilmember District 5.
Here.
Councilmember District 6.
Here. All right, public comment on agenda items.
My name is Arya Kolb. I am from 1256 Bonita Beach Road. I do not think we should be doing the landscaping on West Terry because I think that it will cost too much money and is a tripping hazard, and it can also be a health hazard to people who are allergic to the plants that we are using. And when people are riding their bikes or walking on the sidewalk, they can trip over the landscaping.
All right, discuss landscaping on
There's more public comment.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, my name is Gianna Hassel. I'm from 123 Bonita Street, Bonita Beach Road, and I think that we should not do the landscaping on West Terry Street because it could cost too much money, and it's already pretty much like beautiful over there. So I think we don't need to waste too much money on like making it beautiful when it already is.
Am I good? All right, discuss landscaping on Furlong Street. Do you have any briefing on that? City manager.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Say thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Mayor Council.
We have before you today
We have before you today
an
opportunity
to provide
additional landscaping
and irrigation
along Terry Street.
For consideration,
The
amount would be approximately $24,000
the amount would be $24,000
with an annual cost
of
$12,000.
$12,000.
Alrighty. Do any of colleagues have any comments?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I do. Alrighty.
I think it's too much money. I don't think we need to move like far away.
Oh, okay. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor, I do.
Yes.
I think we should move forward with it. The new landscape will look pretty.
Alright, do I say?
I think that it would attract more people from Bonita.
Alright. Anyone else? No? Do we need a vote? City manager, do we have the money for this?
Say it would require a budget amendment. It would require a budget amendment.
A budget amendment?
Mm-hmm.
It would require a budget amendment.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
I would like to remind you
That in order to amend the budget,
that in order to amend the budget,
you will have to pass a resolution.
you will have to pass a resolution.
Thank you. Is there any more comments? Do we need to vote?
What are your thoughts on it?
I think that I think it might be a little too much money, but I think we need to vote.
We'll just ask,
Does anybody have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I have a comment.
I want to make the motion.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to make
A motion.
not
Not to move forward.
not to move forward.
City Council or Council Member District 1.
I need
No. So when they call me, do I say that?
Council Member District 2. Council Member District 3. Mayor.
Aye.
Council Member District 4.
Aye.
Council Member District 5.
Here.
Council Member District 6.
You got 3 votes and 4 and 4 to pass.
No.
Oh, failed. Just say motion failed.
Motion failed.
Are there any other motions?
Are there any other motions?
Say, I make a motion
I make a motion
to move forward with the irrigation.
to move forward with the
Irrigation.
irrigation.
Is there a second?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
Any more discussion?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Council Member District 1.
Nay.
Council Member District 2.
No.
Council Member District 3.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Council Member District 4.
Aye.
Council Member District 5. Council Member District 6.
Yes.
Motion passed. Oh, you don't have to carry.
The motion carries.
Motion passed.